occasion a prayer vigil for the victims of the horrific massacre in Christchurch on Friday and their families and friends. We have a busy program and we'll commence that very shortly. Just a couple of housekeeping matters. Please, safety is obviously a priority. Follow the instructions of the volunteers and obviously the Victoria Police. Please avoid standing near the tram tracks. And any other instructions that you're given, please follow them. That's for your own safety. I'll introduce myself. My name is Adil Salman and I'm the Vice President of the Islamic Council of Victoria, and I'll be your MC this evening. Thank you so much for coming. The events in New Zealand, I think, have touched all of us very deeply. I'm sure many of you are heartbroken, including people who are not of the Islamic faith. New Zealand is a very close friend of Australia. We share similar culture and obviously same language, and we have a deep affinity for New Zealanders. And further to that, as a Muslim and on behalf of the Muslim community, we have an extra level of connection, and that's a connection of faith. Our brothers and sisters in faith who have been deeply impacted by the events. The New Zealand community, Muslim community, is very small, very close-knit. This will leave a massive, massive hole that will be very hard to fill, if ever. And I know that we are all here today and tonight, this evening, to express our condolences, our best wishes, show solidarity, and the turnout tonight is fabulous. The message will go out across the Tasman, I'm sure, and I know our New Zealand friends will very much appreciate this very public show of support and sympathy and solidarity with them at their time of need. I'll give you a very brief overview and then we'll launch into the program. We'll start off with a short recitation from the Muslim holy book, the Holy Quran, and then we'll have an acknowledgement of country, and if we're fortunate, we may have a haka performed by members of the New Zealand community here in Victoria, and then we'll be moving into some very short interfaith prayers representing all of the denominations, or most of them in any case. And then we'll be moving into some very short speeches, and I stress short. Everyone knows that we want to focus on the key goal tonight, and that is a solemn prayer vigil, but it is appropriate that we have a number of people with us and we give them an opportunity to directly address you. And then there will be something we call Salatul Ghaib in the Islamic faith, which is a funeral prayer for the dead when you're not actually there. And this is something that is part of the Islamic tradition. Then there will be the call to prayer, the evening prayer, which is the Maghrib prayer, which is one of the 5 prayers, as any of you know who are familiar with the Islamic faith. And then there will be the Maghrib prayer performed here at the conclusion, and then we'll obviously wrap up. So without any further ado, I would like to thank you once again. I'm just looking around. It's a tremendous turnout. It's quite overwhelming. I'm feeling very, very emotional actually. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Can I call upon Imam Bekin Hassani, who's Imam of Carlton Mosque, to actually make a short recitation from the Holy Quran.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. فاذكروني أذكركم واشكروا لي ولا تكفرون. بالصبر والصلاة إن الله مع الصابرين ولا تقولوا لمن يقتل في سبيل الله أموات بل أحياء ولكن لا تشعرون ولنبلونكم بشيء من الخوف والجوع ونقص من الأموال والأنفس والثمرات وبشر الصابرين الذين إذا أصابتهم مصيبة قالوا إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون أولئك عليهم صلوات من ربهم ورحمة وأولئك هم المهتدون صدق الله العظيم.
The translation of those verses that we just recited. Remember me, and I will remember you. And thank me, and do not be ungrateful to me. O you who have faith, take recourse in patience and pray. Indeed, God is with the patient. And do not think that those who have died in God's path are dead. They are living with their Lord. We will surely test you with a measure of fear and hunger and a loss of wealth, lives and fruits, and give good news to the patient. Those who, when an affliction visits them, say, indeed we belong to God, and to Him we shall return. It is they who receive the blessings of their Lord and His mercy, and it is they who are the rightly guided. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Imam Bekin, for these very appropriate verses from the Holy Quran. I will now invite Lydia Thorpe. Lydia, if you're around, yes, please. Lydia will do an acknowledgement of country. Thank you.
I have permission to stand here today and do an acknowledgement and a reminder that we all stand on stolen land here today, and that we are standing on the lands of the Wurundjeri people who survived colonisation for the last 230 years. And also a message from the Wurundjeri people and many, many clans, tribes and nations across the country, that we stand in solidarity with our sisters and brothers. Our heart is with you, we walk with you every day, and we've got a lot of work to do to stop the racism in this country. Thank you.
Thank you, Lydia. I may take this opportunity just to introduce or make mention of some of the people standing behind me. They will be coming up to the lectern to give a short talk, but in the meantime I might just mention that we are very grateful to have the Governor of Victoria, Linda Dessau. Thank you, Linda, for coming. We also have the Lord Mayor of Melbourne, Sally Capp. Sally, you're there. We also have the Minister for Multicultural Affairs, Richard Wynne. Welcome, Richard. And we will also have Dr. Richard Di Natale, who's the leader of the Federal Greens, who will be joining us. And also Chin Tan, who is the Race Commissioner. And we will also have the faith leaders saying some prayers for us, and I might introduce them very shortly. But before I do, and I hope we are successful, we were contacted by members of the New Zealand community who expressed a wish to perform a haka here for us tonight. Now, logistically, that may be a challenge given the numbers of people, but if there are Kiwis in the audience, we would ask you to put your hands up so I know that there are some at least to perform the haka. Otherwise, we might move on with the rest of the program. Are there any Kiwis in the audience? Yes? On the left. Okay. Can I ask you to come towards the stage, if you could, relatively soon, and we will do... While they're making their way, I've been remiss in not mentioning Tony Howard as well, who's the husband of the Governor. Thank you for joining us, Tony. So we might ask you to come here, if you like, on the steps, just in front of the steps, if you can perform the haka for us here, if you don't mind. Your one? Okay, that's great. We've got some more. Can you come to the front of the lectern, please? We're just trying to organise the haka for you. We might proceed with some of the interfaith prayers while our New Zealand friends organise themselves, but I've been promised that the haka will be performed tonight. Okay, now we'll go into the part of the program where we have some prayers led by interfaith leaders. Bishop Philip Huggins is the President of the Australian Churches Council. Philip is a strong friend of the Muslim community and very loyal and a great supporter of dialogue amongst the faiths. So it's very appropriate that Philip leads a Christian prayer and a Christian tradition for us here tonight.
My prayer will be encompassed in a threefold Lord have mercy, in not sung as well as those that have just sung, but from my heart. My prayer encompasses just so much gratitude for the friendships that we share and the way our friendships are deepened in times of adversity. My prayer is for the dead who died so violently, left this earth so. My prayer is for the bereaved who have a wound that will never heal this side of eternity. My prayer is for the injured, for their healing and well-being. My prayer is for the traumatized, for the healing of memory. My prayer is for our political system, that there be an end to the fanning of hate and fear. there be no double talk, no obfuscation, that people are straight and speak from an abundance of a pure heart. My prayer is for us who are spiritual practitioners, that we can help our community better appreciate from the riches of prayer and meditation that we do become what we think, and we have to be so attentive to what we think about because it shapes what we will say and what we will do, and the pattern of our thinking will lead to the shaping of our character and destiny as a community and as individuals. And so we do need to pray carefully that we're attentive to what we think about and what we let influence our thinking, so that there is no hate thought, no hate speech, and then no hate act, that these things dissolve from our common life. And my prayer finally is for the mercy of God. So I pray a threefold Kyrie. Kyrie, Kyrie eleison. Christe, Christe eleison. Kyrie, Kyrie eleison.
Thank you, Philip, for that very touching and poignant prayer service. I'll now call upon